Welcome to Connecting to Spirit. I am your host, Lisa Brandis, and I'm here to help you unlock your intuition, channel with clarity, and deep dive into self-discovery, all while navigating the ups and downs of personal and spiritual growth. If you're ready to say goodbye to self-doubt, embrace your unique gifts, and connect with a supportive community on the same journey, then you're in the right place. Whether you're just starting out or you've been walking this path for years, this podcast is here to guide you, support you, and inspire you every step of the way. So grab a cozy spot, settle in, and let's dive into some empowering insights together. Welcome to another episode of Connecting to Spirit. I'm your host, Lisa Brandis, and today I have a very special guest joining me, Myra Allen, a spiritual coach, healer, and channeler, and she also happens to be one of my past Learn to Channel students. Myra has been on an incredible journey of spiritual growth, connecting with her guides, the Brotherhood, and transforming her life in the process. Today's episode is all about what you can expect from learning to channel, overcoming challenges, and the profound impact it can have on your life. Before we dive in, I want to remind you that the Connecting to Spirit Bootcamp is now open for registration. For just $25, this transformative experience will help you to deepen your spiritual connection and, most importantly, gain clarity on your path. You can sign up at promotions.intuitivereiki.com.au. Right, now let's get started. Myra, welcome to the show. I'm so thrilled to have you here today. Before we get into your story, can you introduce yourself to our listeners and share a little bit about your incredible connection with the Brotherhood?
Oh, hi, Lisa. I'm actually quite delighted to be here. I haven't been interviewed for a podcast before. I have been channeling the Brotherhood for just under 12 months now. And channeling the Brotherhood is the first time I have verbally channeled. I have been on a spiritual journey like so many of us for so many years and dabbled in this modality and that modality. I played with tarot cards. I still use oracle cards. I am a qualified Sarasvati healer. I love working with ascended masters, but I was always drawn back again and again to channeling. There's a lot of very high-profile channelers out there. Many people are familiar with Abraham Hicks, who is very prolific. I followed a few others. Sarah Landon being one, she channels the council. There's Lee Harris. There are so many. And I just kept coming back that I wanted to be a channel.
I remember that very first time you connected in my course with the Brotherhood, and it was amazing, slightly unexpected, because I think it happened quite early on in the training, and I remember you saying that you afterwards that you were surprised. Did it feel easy, or did you feel that there was already, like, they were waiting for you to start to connect with them, or did it kind of, how did that experience when you first felt them come through feel?
It unfolded through your course, Lisa. I have to be honest. I have done a lot of journaling, and I'm well connected to my spirit guide and a few other coaching guides. And most of my guides are female, 90%. And the second session of your course, we did one of your meditations, and I felt very masculine energy just standing behind me, which took me by surprise. And it was through the developing of the course when I finally verbally channeled them. Going through the course, as you go in drips and drips, it wasn't a wham bam, hello, here we are. It was very surprising. The most surprising thing, of course, that my whole voice changes and accent. But I wasn't scared. I wasn't. It was just an experience, and yeah, I was totally blown away. It was a surprise.
Oh, that's so cool. It's hard to describe the feeling of channeling. The best word I can think of right now is exhilarating. Like the energy, the feeling of that profound wisdom, and knowing that we're blending with such unique but loving and beautiful guides with wisdom and information that helps ease our stress and helps us to get clarity, to me is one of the greatest things. And I remember back watching you and just seeing the joy, and it was almost like because I think the rest of the class were just so proud of you and so in awe. And then it's almost like we're like, well, now we can now we know that Myra has the ability to channel verbally. Like, we can't wait to hear what they have to say. And stay tuned until the end, because Myra is going to be bringing the Brotherhood through to channel a message specifically for our listeners, and I'll be bringing Anya through. Thank you for sharing that. So it's nice to know, because a lot of people fear that when they learn how to channel, that they're taken over. And I think that comes from some of the old styles of channeling was deep trance channel, where the channel would have no recollection of what was said through them. So they literally handed their body over to a discarnate being, and the being would come through, use their vessel in order to communicate with the group. But my experience is we co-create with our guides, we blend, and in my awareness, there's always been an ability to stop the channel, but I never wanted to. What was your experience? Did you have any fear at all?
I didn't have any fear, but I certainly understand the fear, and people who I channel for now don't understand, and they're worried that you are taken over. But you're correct, it is a blending. I'm a very visual person. I see pictures. So when the Brotherhood step in, I just step to the left side of my brain and allow them to talk through. If at any time I want to interrupt their flow, there is not a problem. I'm not taken over. It is an allowing. And, the Western world, the word surrender has got all sorts of connotations, but it is a surrender, and it is a loving surrender. But I'm still there. I can hear myself speaking. I don't always remember everything I say, but I'm still absolutely here. Because my voice changes, people do think that I've gone, but I'm still here. It is a blessing. It is a gift.
Yeah, I kind of have that same feeling of, the way I explain it is that it's like driving in a vehicle in a car. I just decide to move over to the passenger seat and let Anya take over, and she drives. So I'm very much in the car having the experience with her. And I even have had moments where I can tell Anya's going to start talking about my personal life, and I think, oh, here we go. But I have absolute trust in her that she would never share anything publicly, especially now as I channel publicly, that would be a detriment to myself, because she loves me too much. Why would she put me in any harm's way? She just wouldn't. And I get that nervousness that new channels have, and they should. Like, there should be some element of discernment, and I teach that in the program. We're in a safe place to begin, because in the beginning, it isn't as clear as someone who's channeled like myself for, 15 years and taught Reiki for 22. So there's been a real trust in and development within that relationship, that I surrender more than I ever did in the beginning because of that. If I did feel uncomfortable or didn't want to continue channeling, I know I just open my eyes and come out, or if my eyes are open, I can just stop the experience. But haven't had to in all these years.
That is correct. People that are considering doing the Learn to Channel course, you are live, you are on video, and we all have these fears of showing up in public. I'm an introvert. It was very hard for me to sit there. And of course, you don't know what level you might feel you're being judged by other people, but the space that Lisa creates is so safe, and she is so patient. We had students in the class who I don't even know if they knew what channeling was. They just seemed like it was a good idea at the time. And it is an amazing, safe, sacred container that Lisa builds that allowed me to bring this gift through.
Yeah, I remember that, because you were quiet, very quiet and shy, and often listened a lot in the class. You were very present. So I always knew you were with us and you brought your energy, and then when the Brotherhood came through, it was quite, they're very, very strong in their presence. And I do say to my students, look, this is a little bit weird. Like, let's not sugarcoat it. It's different. It's not mainstream yet, although we're so grateful for people like Abraham Hicks that, I remember watching one of her videos and someone had challenged and said, the information is so profound. It's so amazing. I just can't get my head around the channeling part. And it was almost as if he was saying that the wisdom comes from the expression of channeling because they're not human. Well, my guides aren't and your guides aren't. So therefore, they don't come with all the human drama that we have. They don't come with all the negative emotion. They operate on a frequency of unconditional love. So in order to bring that information through, there's a lot of ways in which humans have naturally been inspired by, had in spirit or in spirit connection or been inspired. This is just a way to do it verbally, just allows for the stream of consciousness to come through quickly, which means we can get more out of the experience on a personal level. Whether you decide to only ever do it for yourself, that's fine. Or if you're a businesswoman like yourself and like I am, you might decide to shortcut the pain of making some of the big mistakes because you learn how to trust your intuition and how to, really check into what's on your highest path. And also to trust those signals when we do get those feelings. The amounts of times in my early years I'd catch myself saying, gosh, I knew that wasn't going to go well. And I just didn't listen. And I think it gives you an advantage over all your competitors when you're tuned in and tapped into a loving presence that can assist you on your journey because they're interested in who we are and what we want. They're not here to give us, they never tell us what to do. They're here to guide us, into support, encourage, to inspire us and to give us a bigger vision, I believe, or a bigger picture, something that we might not have considered. That is where the magic is. And to me, that's like a it just supercharges our experience. And I kind of think, why wouldn't you want to learn how to channel? Like if you knew what it was, I really do think when people are afraid of it or they, reject it or think it's weird, but from a judgmental point of view, it's just because they don't know what it is. They don't have the understanding or the awareness.
Oh, I had an interesting question recently, and this person who didn't know a lot about channeling asked, do they bring through new information? And I was a bit concerned he was going to ask me about flying cars or things like that. And I thought about it, and it's not that the information is new, but it is a higher perspective. So the Brotherhood are ascended masters, which means that they have walked on earth before. So they have the perspective and appreciation of me being a soul in a human form, but they also have the perspective of living in light and knowing that we are all one, we are all connected, and the knowledge is there for everyone.
Hey there, are you ready to deepen your connection with your highest self, spirit guides, and intuition? I've got something special just for you. My Connecting to Spirit Bootcamp is now open for registration. This transformative 12-day experience is designed to help you to unlock your intuitive abilities, connect with your spirit guides, and gain clarity like never before. And the best part, it's only $25, saving you over 87% off the regular price. You'll get live interactive sessions, practical tools, and access to a supportive community. And if you can't make the live sessions, don't worry, you'll have access to all the replays so you can learn at your own pace. Spots are filling fast and they're limited, so don't miss out. Head over to promotions.intuitivereiki.com.au to secure your spot today. I can't wait to see you there and help you step into your intuitive power. That's so relatable. What has been the most rewarding or surprising part of your journey with the Brotherhood?
Well, there's actually been a few surprises. The first one was, of course, the very first time I verbally channeled, and the first sentence was my voice, and then to the shock, horror and surprise of the whole group, my accent totally changed. So that was one of the biggest surprises. But some of the messages that have come through was they very clearly suggested I become vegetarian. And I know a lot of spiritual people are. I have never been, so that in itself has been a journey. But as all our guides, it is with love. There is no dogma that you must do this and you must do that. It is, and this is one of their favourite words, it is an invitation to change, to lift your vibration. One of the other amazing things that has come through is my increased intuition and my tapping in. During the course, through one of the meditations Lisa ran in her Learn to Channel course, I was able to see her guides, and I have not been able to see other people's guides in the past. And recently, walking with my father, and I tuned into his guide, and the beautiful, loving, masculine energy that came through. And so my journey just keeps expanding, and the Brotherhood keep helping me and giving me the confidence to reach new heights and explore new corners of the spiritual realm.
It is so fascinating, isn't it, that there's so much to discover and so much beauty that we can experience. Like, to me, it was like a window just opened up to this infinite possibility. I think as a channel, we really need to be in the receptive mode. When someone can ask us a question, it allows us to just let go of the human aspect and allow for that blending to take place so that we can feel the resonance of the guide's wisdom and the answers to our questions. But most importantly, it is getting that clarity. And for me, being able to help others. So in the time that it's been since you finished the Learn to Channel course, so I think it was 12 months since you first made that introduction, how has it changed your life, being able to have that direct connection?
I would say, in a word, confidence. I am, very quiet. I stand behind the scenes. But when you know that you have got the backing of a celestial army and the Brotherhood are there, and I might just expand a bit. When I first channeled them, Lisa came through the name, it's the Great White Brotherhood. And she asked the question when I first channeled, are you the Great White Brotherhood? And their answer is burned in my soul, because they replied, we can be great, we can be white, but we are light. We are all light. So the Great White Brotherhood has been around the world for a very long time. I do not know anything about it. I channel a portion of these Ascended Masters. I have 3 that have stepped forward, and they refer to themselves as the Brotherhood.
Oh, how beautiful. There's a humility to that, isn't there? To just knowing that they're giving you the answers that are going to make you feel most comfortable to be able to receive them as well. Because I know from my own experience, when I first channeled Jesus, I was like, I'm a Reiki master. I'm not telling anyone I'm channeling Jesus. And then I just sunk into self-doubt as to why would Jesus want to communicate through me, right? It just seemed. And yet in the end, I changed his name and called him Saint Germain, because someone had said to me, or I'd read in a book somewhere, that Jesus has had many incarnations, and one of them was Saint Germain. I'm like, that feels easier, because I just didn't want to step on anyone's toes. And I think as empaths, and most of the people I teach are healers and empaths and light workers, and sometimes people pleasers. I know I certainly am. So we don't want to say anything. We don't want any people calling us any names on Facebook, even though it happens. I got called a snake charmer once. I'm like, thanks. And I love that our guides work independently with us, and they give us the information only that we need to best serve us as well. Like, they're here for us first, and then for how we can assist others. I remember when I first found out that my guides were Pleiadian, it was like years before I knew, because I was scared of that. I was kind of like, I don't want to channel aliens. And because, of course, we've got all our human fear, and I didn't want to be weird, I wanted to be a normal looking channel. And I've seen a lot of different ways in which we can do this. And the other thing I want to say is that we do have a choice. We can channel with our eyes open, with our hands on our laps, quite relaxed, like we don't. And everyone channels differently and everyone's inspired to movement, and that's fine. There's no judgment here. But it's just, for me on a personal level, I just wanted to be able to channel a guide that would give relevant information to people, not be so out of touch with the stuff that we're going through that it didn't really make much sense. I wanted it to be impactful wisdom that we can take action and make our life and others easier and more manageable, and, you know, just bring harmony and happiness. And you know what? Have a whole bunch of fun together in the meantime. I really have built a gorgeous community, and with beautiful souls like you, Myra, I am so blessed to have you in my world. And not only that, seeing the interactions between you and the other students. It really is this family of light here at Earthside that we're forming that is, you know, here to uplift humanity. And, you know, I look at the purpose and why we're here, and I believe this path was chosen a long time before we incarnated, you know, to just make a difference and to bring more love onto the planet. And one point I was going to say that just slipped out of my head was that I remember when I found out that my guide Anya, she is a collective consciousness with a singular name, and she told me she was Pleiadian in one of the channeled sessions, because one of my students asked, like I would never have asked because I didn't want that answer, and she said we're Pleiadian. And then I'm like, inside I had that response too. And she said, tell Lisa not, or she said something along the lines of, you know, don't go Googling us, because she is a reflection of me also. So when she blends through me and my life experience, we create a harmonious frequency together that is unlike anyone else that might channel Pleiadians. It's unique to our expression. And do you think I went and Googled Pleiadians after?
You're only human.
Yeah, well, I did. So just because our guide says don't do something doesn't mean we, you know, we still have free will, right? We can do Absolutely. What we want. And I did, and I saw a lot of spooky images that kind of put me off a little bit for a while. But at the end of the day, I just came back to how do I feel when I channel? And at the end of the day, if the information resonates, and I always say to people, and especially for you listening, if you hear a message that we channel today that resonates, great. Take the information, go and explore, try it out in your life. But if something that we say doesn't resonate, just dismiss it. You don't have to. We're not experts here. We're two humans that have a passion. We're nothing special. We're just wanting to give you an opportunity to bask in some of the joy that we've experienced, and to, I think when we take that pressure off ourselves, that they're profound, we might not be, we're human, that just makes it all that little bit easier as well. So I preface that with the fact that we're about to drop into channel now. So Myra has so beautifully is having the courage to bring a message through for you. So Myra, we're going to go into a meditation now, and I'll just allow you to call through the guides, however it feels most comfortable for you to do so.
Greetings, our children of light. We are indeed delighted, and we feel Myra's excitement for this new experience, to be sharing our voices and our wisdom on a podcast to more than one or two people at a time. It is a unique experience for us.
Oh, thank you so much for being here and for giving Myra the support that she's needed over the past 12 months of getting to know you. One of the questions I have is, do you have any tips to when someone is first learning how to channel?
Children of light, it is a strange and wondrous experience, but we would recommend that you start as our Myra started, and that is with a pen and a paper. And just ask. We know that you have referred to this in a previous podcast, Lisa. But to just ask, what does Spirit want me to know today? And if it is a one word, if the Spirit says breathe or rest, then that is enough. Humans compare themselves to channelers and say, oh, they get monologues, they get dialogues, and I get a one word. But you must understand that Myra had been journaling a very long time before her vibration lifted enough to accept our invitation.
On a personal level, sometimes I feel it's easier to bring through channel in order to help someone else than it is to get my own question answered. Do you have any information on how we can receive those internal messages as opposed to channeling verbally for others?
We would again recommend that you either write or record your question and your answer. We like the pen and the paper because the brain is more engaged. You can type if you wish to type. We know that Myra would love to type because her handwriting is terrible and very illegible. But the act of sitting in the silence with the pen and the paper, and no judgment, no editing, it is perhaps easier to get those answers that you seek. And we would recommend that once you have written, that you put that aside for the 2 or 3 days, and then to go back and read it out loud.
Mm-hmm. If you're afraid that you can't do it, or you're having some nervousness when you begin to channel, does that affect the ability to channel?
Yes, fear is a natural human condition for protection, and it is an allowing to channel. It is not to say that you will feel entirely comfortable, because you perhaps do not know what is coming. Myra certainly did not. But you have to drop into your heart and know that we come with love. And if you have prepared yourself and you have grounded yourself and you have asked for protection, then you can alleviate much of the fear. For those who have not nice experiences, perhaps they played a bit hard a bit soon.
I do believe information and understanding truth can help kind of dissipate the fear in my experience, as well as working with an energy like Reiki, because it just automatically raises the vibration. So totally agree with what you're saying. Do you have any messages for our listeners today?
Children. We call you children of light because you are all souls of light. And when you are listening to this, whether you are feeling happy or sad, know that you are loved. You are loved beyond measure. You are loved unconditionally. And know that there are so many of us out here wanting to connect with you, to dry your tears, to give you a hug. And while we have not a body at this time to do so, love yourself and we will come in.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for your wisdom and guidance, and for sharing your experience, and also for connecting today so that our listeners can feel your presence and hear your warmth and your message. Namaste.
It is indeed our pleasure. And Lisa, you are a gift to be sharing this and getting this light out. And we thank you for that. Walk in light.
Beautiful. Namaste. Just, big energy, isn't it? Big energy. Their accent is so strong. Like it's totally different to yours. I was kind of where it almost sounded a little, definitely masculine energy.
I think I've listened to a few things.
Yeah.
I think it's closer to Egyptian than
Egyptian,
anything.
okay.
I listened to a podcast, they were interviewing an Egyptian guy, and it seemed
like it resonated, and I think that's where we definitely know there's a difference, and there was a different feel in the room. So if you could, this is what I love about Myra and I are sitting right next to each other. So the feeling was palpable when your guides come in. Oh, I love it. Thank you. And it's amazing to be able to know that even though we're a little bit afraid, that there's trust and there's love. And the tips that they had would just start with automatic writing, which is just writing and free flowing and trying not to judge or worry about what others are thinking. That's why I think the safe container is important, to have a group. And you know what? When we're all together, all interested in learning to channel, there's no feeling of weirdness. There's no feeling of separation, because we're all the weird ones. Like, we're all having fun. And so you actually get better because of the company you keep. So I found it easier to channel when I was with others, and I think, a lot of the other students have said the same thing, that they felt the energy was easier to channel in that group vibration than when you're trying to do it on your own. It's just a little bit easier, isn't it?
Absolutely. And you run amazing meditations, and the vibration lift, because you're in a group, when there's more than one or two or three together, the vibration lifts. And definitely being in the group and in the lives calls and being held in that energy, yes, it's a very easy pathway.
Makes a big difference, doesn't it? Beautiful. All right, well, I'm going to bring Anya through now, see what she has to say. So I'll just take a few moments to get into the right space. Okay. We find it very fascinating when Lisa recalls her awareness of understanding that we are galactic beings of light, and we have not, unlike the Brotherhood, we have not had a human experience, but we are very, very connected to the human beings that we work with. And so the love that we have for Lisa and for those that she meets through her journey and her experience is profound. And we feel such a blessing and a privilege to be able to be in connection. It is like she is a daughter to us, is the way that we feel as we connect in. And the imagery that she has seen that is produced through the frequency and the human interpretation of us is very different to where we are. We are in pure frequency, and we are not actually in physical form. So we are a collective and a vibration. So therefore it is up to the interpreter as to how they see us. So one might experience us as more of a frequency, or a sound is probably closer to that which we are. That we welcome your questions, Myra.
What is their next best step if they want to explore this channeling journey themselves?
It is an opportunity to follow the inspiration. If you feel like you have learned something from this experience or from the podcast conversations, if it feels in alignment for you, then we would love to step you through the journey one step at a time. And this is what we recommend, and this is why we have downloaded for Lisa the way in which she teaches her programs. We've worked very closely. We are teacher guides, so everything that she has learnt, whilst there has been some components of understanding the human aspect through teaching, she's received human side. We are very much inspiring and downloading information for her that will help best support the students that wish to learn how to channel and wish to learn how to have a connection with their own guidance, and also to be able to breathe through loving and peaceful healing energy which comes with the frequency of us. And also the students are given steps to be able to tune into the frequency that best serves their human journey. So it is not necessarily that all her students will channel Pleiadians. So we have given her instruction that is open in order to allow the best frequency to align with the humans as they start to embark upon this journey. And we found that fast tracking the experience does not always go well for humans. So we have, through the framework of practice that we have inspired Lisa to do over the years, has provided her with some of the ways in which humans first feel energetically, physically, spiritually, mentally when they embark upon the journey. It can be an adjustment phase needed as you start to adjust gently to high-level guidance and higher frequency light, conversing and communicating and connecting through the physical form. So we are about safely teaching others how to tune into the frequency, and knowing that when you are instructed well how to do something, a bit like learning how to ride a bike, it is an element of understanding, knowledge, learning from those that have gone before, and then also putting it into practice. And sometimes it's a bit wobbly in the beginning, yes, and that's why support, like training wheels, support comes from other students plus us and our frequency and vibration, as well as Lisa and her knowledge and experience, all creates a container with which you are held, loved, nurtured, and supported through the awakening to this experience.
That is such a beautiful explanation, especially about the frequency. Everyone's frequency is different. On a more personal note, having worked with the Brotherhood, I feel drawn to do more, and I'm just not sure the best way to go about it. When I say more, I mean sharing my gifts with others, and I'm really would like some guidance, perhaps through you and the Brotherhood, on my next best step.
We feel that sometimes it is best just to create one experience. What happens with the humans is they tend to future project, or they tend to make comparisons to others and feel like they're not quite prepared in order to put this out publicly. And we feel that the passion is there, so therefore the experience will be there. So once there is a desire, then the outcome is already done from our perspective. It is already achieved. The frequency of ability is already there, and the experience of it is already there, as you have publicly channeled today. We suggest, as we have suggested to Lisa, just create one event. Okay, just create one podcast episode with the intention, if you enjoy it, to then create more. And if that doesn't resonate, you might need to have a bigger goal, like I'm just going to create 10. Or it may work depending on your personality type, whether you need to literally set up the goal of I'm going to do 1,000 episodes. And therefore it doesn't matter whether the first 2 or 3 are a bit rusty. I'm just going to keep going. And as you move into the experience and the expression, it gets easier and easier. And the same as you move through, and we're going on Lisa's experience here of understanding the different ways in which you can bring a podcast and publish it. There is a learning curve involved with the systems and involved with the recording and the setup that can feel quite challenging. So it is like with all new things, humans don't like change much, so therefore they have resistance. The thing is here to stop thinking about it and just start doing. So setting a goal that most resonates with your style and your personality. We feel that 1,000 episodes would be too big for you to commit to. We feel that 1 is not quite enough, because you'll do 1, not feel great, and not do another one. So therefore we feel somewhere around the 20 mark would probably be best serving you. And then at the end of the 20 mark, you get the choice to decide whether you wish to continue or not. We feel you will continue. So at this point in time, we feel a podcast would give you the opportunity to share to your connected audience already, and to allow that to grow quite organically. And trust that those who are in resonance with your message will find you. And it grows organically, gently, which is part of the intention that you set when you begin to deliver your expression to those who are needing to hear what the Brotherhood has to say through your vessel, Myra.
Thank you so much, Anya.
It is our pleasure, a pleasure. So we would like to take this opportunity to thank you, Myra, and thank you to the Brotherhood for being present. We can feel that we are standing side by side with you now in the energetic frequency. It is a beautiful blending that takes place when we have the privilege of being able to blend with our human counterpart and be able to express in unique and wonderful ways. We also look forward to seeing the new students come through the different challenges and the boot camp that we have, the offerings that we make, and also just the resonance that you feel. If it is in alignment with you, then please take action. Nothing changes unless you do something different. And sometimes that doing something different creates the life changes that you've been yearning for, yet not yet experienced. So we are the collective Pleiadian group named Anya for simplicity. We are here with a reminder that everything that you need is within. You are ready, you always were. And we look forward to seeing your creative, unique expression as you start to explore the world of channeling. Namaste.
Namaste.
Wow. That's so cool. We just have no idea what's going to be said when we channel. And I just think her presence feels larger than life. Like I feel like as I come back now, I'm so used to going in and out of channel, but I always feel like I'm left with more energy than when I started. I always feel like my chest is puffed up that little bit, prouder, and I just feel this sense of love and acceptance from my guides that is so profound to tap into. It is pretty cool, isn't it? Wonderful. Wow. How do you feel after channeling, Myra?
There was a lot of energy today. Because I can tell because my lip starts quivering when they're really... And it's interesting because I have channeled for other people, and lately I've been getting pictures, quite visual pictures that I've been sharing. I channeled for someone and I felt totally drained. So it's quite interesting. But I said I channeled for my brother-in-law 25 minutes. And they would have kept going. He was fascinated.
Wow.
But it depends on and because I'm a new channeler, I'm cautious on who I channel for, because I don't want to channel for someone who doesn't believe.
You just know it's not their thing. I have no interest in riding a motorbike. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with those who ride motorbikes. Yes. I don't have interest in having a tattoo. No judgment about those. No. My brother has an armful of tattoos, and so there's no judgment. No. It's just we have different paths.
I says it flips my biscuit. It floats my boat. I love that. I love it. I love the energy.
Flips my biscuit.
There's nothing like it on earth.
It is, isn't it? I just can't believe it. Like once, I remember my very first channeling experience. I won't tell you now because you really have to join the course to find out about it. But it was as if I'd had a near-death experience. It was so profound that I literally knew, I had a knowing that there is an existence beyond this form. I knew without a shadow of a doubt that there is an afterlife. It was so profound, it changed my life. Yeah. And that sense of knowing, I've not found any other way that has given me that direct experience that then has led to a total change in my life. It's almost like all my beliefs just shifted to a different frequency and life just became so much more pleasant. Yeah. I even had a release of anxiety and... like they're still there a little bit because I can be a bit neurotic sometimes. I'm a passionate person, but it's
everything flows when you are in that grace.
Yeah,
and it doesn't mean I'm channeling 24/7.
No, but, no.
You're not planning, but the car parks appear and the traffic is clear, and it's
we call that synchronicity, isn't it? We just line up to the universe and amazing. Yeah,
doesn't happen all the time. The universe will still kick me in the teeth like everyone else. But
well, that's the contrast, right? Because we're human, we still have to find out what we don't want.
Exactly.
Sometimes that comes through those challenging experiences. Yeah. Wow, Myra, thank you so much. And again, thank you to the Brotherhood for those beautiful messages and for having the courage, because I know it takes a lot of courage. So please drop in the comments and let Myra know how much you appreciated the fact that she's been here today and channeled a message specifically to inspire and uplift you. So thank you. How can people get in contact with you, Myra, if they would like to have a session? You're a spiritual coach and a healer. How can they reach out to you?
Or Facebook Myra Allen Perth and send me a message. You will definitely find me there.
Perfect. We'll make it easy. We'll drop the link to your Facebook page in the show notes. So head down there. Just want to say thank you for your time. We don't take it lightly. I know life is busy, so to dedicate time to be with us today, we're both very grateful. And if you're feeling called to start or deepen your journey, I would love to once again invite you to Connecting to Spirit Bootcamp, an incredible opportunity to learn whether channeling is for you, have some experiences like Anya shared where she has downloaded tools and techniques to give you an insight as to whether channeling is the path for you, or for just $25. It's a 10-day boot camp where you get in touch with a community of beautiful heart-based healers and light workers just like Myra. So head to promotions.intuitivereiki.com.au to secure your place. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, stay intuitive, stay inspired, and most importantly, take care of yourself.